No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Ow, 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 ow. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. We're going all the way so you can score more for your trade-in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV today. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
It's time for the Postgame Show from Bronco Nation News. We're breaking down the game with highlights, interviews, analysis, and most importantly, you. Give your thoughts on the game in the YouTube chat or Facebook comments, and we'll include the best ones on the show. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Postgame Show from Bronco Nation News.
Hey, how we doing? Welcome postgame here at ExtraMile Arena. This is the Jacksons Postgame Show. Abe Jackson just got done calling the game with Bob Bueller over on 670 KBOI on the Bronco Radio Network with Learfield. My name is BJ Rains, and this is the postgame show here, the Jacksons Postgame Show after a I know we might have some kids watching tonight, Abe, but that was an ass-kicking tonight.
It was bad.
96,
it was really good.
96-55 the final. Boise State crushes Wyoming by 41. They move up 6 spots at Ken Palm. We'll see what the net ranking does tomorrow, but it was just as one-sided, as dominant of a conference win as I can remember for Boise State in a while.
Yeah, it's rare to have a basketball game where the other team makes 0 runs at all in the game. And then when you just see you're down 3 the very beginning, and then you tie, and then you go up 5, and then 8, and then 11, then 20 at half, and then 25, then 30. I mean, they just continued to progress, stretching the lead throughout the entire game, and there was 0 runs from Wyoming at all. It just looked like the Broncos were completely comfortable offensively, defensively, whoever took the court.
Yeah.
They just looked like they felt good.
And I thought at halftime they're up, 29? You're thinking, okay, I think I saw the second half line was like BSU -2. So they expected pretty much a even second half, at least in Vegas.
Yeah.
And you wondered, okay, when do they put the subs in? When does it, are they happy being up winning by 20? Are they going to take the foot off the pedal, which they kind of did, resting some of the starters late. But to go from 29 and then the second half still outscore them by 12, 46-34. They kept the pedal down, and even the subs that came in, the Julian Bowies of the world still performed.
Well, in extremely important minutes when you're out there, especially with Lockett and Bowie as your freshman point guards, and you're playing out there without a Cardenas out there who usually logs 35 to 40 minutes, and you have to run the show. You have to be the one that runs everything at the point guard position and at the 2 guard position. You have to do both things. And so I think those are really important minutes, especially at the point guard position.
We were both just looking at some scores there, by the way. 63-61 with 3 minutes to go. San Jose is beating New Mexico.
We that San Jose was going to give some teams trouble when they go into that building.
Yes.
When we only won by 6 or 7 points, and people, oh man, what's going on?
Yep. I said they're going to pick somebody off.
They
at that
are
place.
going to. And then you take a look at Air Force, who hasn't won a game in conference, going to Nevada, who's only won 1 game. Air Force is ahead by 4, 58-54 with 5 minutes left. Those would be 2 wild wins right there.
Yeah, I was pointing at the San Jose one, and then you pointed down at the Air Force. It just tells you, like, you can compare scores all you want. I mean, I was talking with Nathan Carroll, who's going to join us here after you, but I mean, this Wyoming team beat Nevada.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we're going to find out Nevada just really is.
They might just
maybe
not.
They just stink. I mean, they had a lot of close losses. I get it,
but
be
real good.
But you can compare scores all you want, but with travel and who knows when you had a bye and who's sick and hurt and who plays who. I mean, every game is different. But there you go. Shout
out to Tyler K. Exactly.
He remembers
it. Exactly.
He remembers it. Abe the Babe is with us here on the.
You're gonna try and get that to catch on. Let's put the brakes.
Well, when
on
a guy
that.
says my wife said that, and then she still.
It was in college. I mean, I didn't look anything like this.
I mean, we've got wives of Boise still interested in Abe Jackson here. I mean,
no,
it is
no, nothing like that. Nothing like that. This is a sports show. This is a reality TV.
There goes the great Bob Beeler. Just finished the call there with Abe on 670.
These are the things. So these are the things you talk about on a 40+ 50.
Wait, they got you. I know you and Bob had some filler there in a second.
Our conversations were wandering. We kind of took some hard lefts and some rights, and then got back to the game. And
yes. 41-point win. It was great. I mean, you can focus on the 13 of 26 3-point shooting. Julian Bowie, 5 of 6 from 3-point range. Andrew Meadow hit 3. You can look at the rebound. You can look at the defense. I mean, where are you going in terms of what stood out the most to you?
The shooting. I mean, that's something that's been a question mark pretty much all year long. But you take a look at the scoring for the Broncos in the last 3 games. They get into the 80s over UNLV, 79 points against Utah State, and then in the 90s against Wyoming. Something is clicking offensively, and I don't really think it's the scheme of the offense. I think that shots are going down now. The Broncos have run really good offense almost all year. You could probably pick and choose some games or some halves, but for the most part, the offense has been there. We haven't seen a bunch of forced shots or bad attempts from the floor. They just haven't been going in. And so now the offense is going, and then the shots are going down as well. And that's why you see the Broncos consistently now getting up into the 80s and tonight into the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, their Ken Palm offensive efficiency just now is ranked 33rd in the country. And that is 3 games in a row where and that's why I was getting a lot of fans and folks ripping on me on the postgame show for being too positive and too optimistic and being, on Leon's payroll and all this. But I mean, I saw, they lost the game, but I saw a lot of positives, and I thought that it was still building in the right direction from the UNLV game. And that's now 3 games in a row. I mean, you look at Leon's track record, they have some of these mid-season runs where they start picking up a 10-1 stretch or an 11-3 stretch or something. And that's 3 in a row where I know they lost that Utah State game, and man, you'd love to have it. But I still feel like this thing is now turning clearly in the right direction here, and they've figured something out.
Yeah. And shots are starting to go down. And the defense was really impressive tonight. I mean, like I said earlier, they just looked completely comfortable in everything that they did, from defense to offense, and whoever took the court. I mean, you didn't see anything really go down when some of the guys on the bench started coming in. If anything, the lead went from 38 to 41 to 45 and just stayed around there the whole time. So I think really important minutes, and it couldn't be coming at a better time where you're going into the toughest or maybe the second toughest road venue in the conference in the pit.
What happened on the postgame show here? Apparently I'm supposed to give you lots of love. Apparently Leon was a little harsh to you on the postgame. Did you ask a tough question or what?
No, I didn't ask anything. He just kind of out of nowhere told me I never played any defense when I played. And so I was like, that's all right. He said, you just would outscore him. And I said, well, I got some rebounds.
Well, you've lost 3 spots. We've talked about it, but you've lost 3 spots on your scoring list too since you played. So
well, that's all good.
I mean, to score.
You know what? I will give up all those spots on the scoring from the 3rd to 4th to 5th, 6th, and now I'm at 7th at Tyson. If we can get to the NCAA tournament again, I mean, when you got people that score the ball, you're going to be going to some NCAA tourneys.
Tyson now 18 points away from Kobe Carl for 5th place on the all-time list, so he continues his ascension up. Crash saying Bowie and Lockett, 2 super-duper impressive tonight. We've seen Lockett kind of take that starting spot now. He played 23 minutes, had 11 points, 3 assists, only 1 turnover. And then we mentioned Julian Bowie in 23 minutes. He was 5 of 7 from the field, 5 of 6 from downtown. He had 16 points. He did have 4 turnovers tonight, but overall, that's 27 points from Lockett and Bowie on 5 of 6 and let's see, 4 of 9. So that's bad math. 9 of 15, I think, shooting.
So the thing about those two guys is they're both freshmen, right? And everyone who comes and plays at this level was a big-time scorer in high school or wherever you played before Boise State. So how do you make that jump? And a lot of it, especially at those two positions with Bowie and Lockett, is decision-making. And I think you're seeing Bowie going through some of those, some of the rough patches with the decision-making at the point guard position, but he's knocking down a bunch of threes, and he's the best shooter on the team in league play. And Lockett, I think why you're seeing him progress is his decision-making probably a little ahead of Bowie's because of that red shirt from last year, but not a lot of turnovers. He's making the right decisions. He's pulling it out when he needs to. He's being aggressive when he needs to. You can see that he has a pretty good outside shot as well. The most impressive shot that I think I saw Lockett hit today was a drive right to the elbow, stop short of the defense, and then hit a 15-footer. That's a big-time shot. You don't see that a lot anymore. You see hard drives to the hoop or threes, but that was a perfect mid-range jumper.
And you only have to play Tyson Degenhardt 17 and a half minutes. I think Jay Tuss had the stat, the fewest minutes played for Tyson since the first game he started way back his freshman year. So with only 2-day turnaround to go into the pit on Friday night to only play Tyson Degenhardt 17 minutes, Meadow 22, Lockett 22, Cardenas 28, Stanley 9, Bowie 22, Buchanan 21. I mean, they spread it out the minutes tonight, which I think could be a big help on Friday.
It's going to be. I mean, any type of rest you can get, whether it's a couple hours during the Mountain West tournament, if you play in the morning and then you don't play till the evening. I mean, you love that extra time. So if you can get Tyson only 17 minutes, Cardenas 28, they're both averaging probably over 35 in conference. So, but someone we didn't mention, Emmanuel Ugbo, first collegiate start, 7.7 rebounds. And I think it's really good to get him in there as a starting lineup. The 5 position's been a little bit of this
buzzer beater.
Did San Jose just beat New Mexico by 1?
I believe they just hit a buzzer beater. We'll see if somebody on the chat lets us know. I believe San Jose just hit a buzzer beater to beat New Mexico. It is updated on our stat monitor, 71-70. If anybody is watching this, let us know if it's going to count and if that happened. Now, if that's the case, does that change things for you for Friday? A little ticked off New Mexico team now?
No, I don't know. I don't think so. That's just crazy though that we were talking about
2.1 seconds left still, according to Tyler. But
we saw 0.
Let us know what happened. We're seeing 0 on the clock here. Did they score? Did they score though? Are they winning with 2 seconds left? Let us know what's going on there. So they did score. You got it on here. All right. That's why we pay. That's why we pay Nathan to let us know here.
He's the stat guy.
They're saying 2 seconds left, but they did score, I believe, though. So they're up 71-70.
71-70.
We'll do this on the pregame show, but how much will the atmosphere, and we mentioned the shot clock violation, but all those freshmen and those guys getting that out of their system in that atmosphere and learning to communicate and that stuff, how much will that help them on Friday?
It's going to help. It's really going to help. I think you have a really good combination of some young guys who are really learning how to play in those type of environments, but then the calming aspect of a guy like a Stanley and a Degenhardt and a Cardenas who've been in those type of environments 10, 15 times over their collegiate career. So I don't really think the environment's going to have an effect. I think Utah State's did. I think there was some possessions that you could look at and say that definitely had an effect on how the Broncos performed. But I want to get back to Emmanuel Ugbo real quick. 7.7 rebounds in his first collegiate start. And they're going to need him at New Mexico. Nelly Jr. Joseph is a big, aggressive interior player that is really strong. And I think Emmanuel Ugbo is going to have a tough matchup, but something that he can handle. And I think getting a start here is going to be here tonight was key.
Here's the shot, by the way. There was a shot for San Jose that missed, and then they got an offensive rebound and a little fadeaway with 2 seconds left. Banks in off the glass. So 2.1 seconds left. We will see what happens there.
And 5 people cheering.
Do you feel how much more? Hey, how much? Final thing for you, but how much? Yeah. I know you probably felt confident either way, but how much better do you feel about their chances of winning Friday based on the blowout win tonight?
You gotta feel good. I mean, you could put this up there with the UNLV game that we were talking about. That was their best full game of the year, and then they take the floor again here in ExtraMile, and this might have been their best full game of the year. So you have to feel good. You got to feel good that everybody who touched the court help the team win, and not just help the team, but progress to that lead. anyone who touched the court. The lead just kept continuing to grow. So I like where the Broncos are. I like where the offense is. The offense is running smooth, but the shots are starting to go down, and that's why you're seeing in the 80s, 79, and then in the 90s in the last 3 games.
Oh, Abe, we appreciate your time as always, man. Thanks for sticking around.
Yeah.
And it was, always, I guess, a little easier to stick around after a 40-whatever point win.
Hey, and I played a little bit of defense.
Check the
when
tape.
I was playing.
Check the tape.
I played some defense. I took
where
some
are
charges.
You on the steals list?
I took some charges.
Oh, you were.
I was a help side. I wasn't really a great on-ball defender, but I was awesome at help side.
You were a big assist guy too, right?
Not really.
Hey, man.
Just shot the ball.
We appreciate you as always. We'll do it again Friday at the pit, man.
All right.
Thanks a lot. We appreciate Abe Jackson for jumping on. RowPaint.com, our title sponsor. Our man Nathan Carroll is going to jump in here. We appreciate Abe Jackson for coming on. RowPaint.com, our title sponsor. Check them out, RowPaint.com, ROEPaint.com, our title sponsor. Get your player of the game in, your Matt Bauscher player of the game. We'll get to those here shortly. Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, your player of the game. Number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley for a reason is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Get in your comments, your thoughts on this game and your player of the game. We'll get to that soon. But Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate. No home too big or too small. Matt and his team ready to take care of you at Bauscher Real Estate.com. Hopefully folks are enjoying a Horseshoe Golden Ale right now, the Horseshoe Collective Horseshoe Golden Ale and that Orange Chaos Seltzer. A portion of the proceeds go to benefit the Horseshoe Collective. Just saw Joe Nickel from the Collective walking by. Western Collective, they're a brewery in Garden City. Get some tavern-style pizza and the great, delicious cold beverages. Horseshoe Golden Ale and the Orange Chaos Seltzer. Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. We appreciate them as well. SON Management Group, the Nicolason family. Saw Stan Nicolason and his kids at the game tonight. TacoBellWorks.com. If you're looking for a job, they are hiring, and you can just go into any local Taco Bell, and they got the paperwork right there on the counter. TacoBellWorks.com, the $7 Lux Cravings box, the Cantina Bowls, the slushies, all the great stuff there at Taco Bell. Check them out, TacoBellWorks.com. Got a text while we were on the air from our man Clark at ICCU, ICCU.com. Check out ICCU.com for all your banking needs. I was there today, 14 minutes. I got a debit card printed for my personal account and my business account in 14 minutes. And I didn't even know where to go because I haven't had to go there. I just do it all online. So easy. The process is awesome at ICCU. You'll wish you had made the switch sooner. Check them out, ICCU.com. And Jacksons, I think I saw John Mallory applauding when they got to 70 points tonight because you get a hot dog and a fountain drink for $2 at Jackson's on Thursday. Not tomorrow, but the next day on Thursday. Since the Broncos got to 70 points, that's $2 fountain drink and hot dog. I think you get a banana as well. And that is at Jackson's, courtesy of our friends at Jackson's. That's on Thursday. You have to have the Let's Go Rewards app. Make sure you download that. And you can do that with our friends at Jackson's. Looks like the game has gone final. Folks are letting us know in the comments there. San Jose won. Wow. What is that? Nathan Carroll, our guest, by the way, BNN correspondent, part-time employee. You were on the pregame show. You decided to stick around for the postgame show. But before we get into this one, just your take on New Mexico going down at San Jose.
I mean, you said it. Leon said it. San Jose was going to get somebody this year. That's such a tough place to play because it's not a tough place to play. You know, how many times do you go to a gym with a blue floor that has 100 different people in there? But San Jose State, I mean, from the analytics point of view, it'll be a rough loss for New Mexico. You know, they go into that game probably 10 or 12-point favorites. But, you know, I can be a bit of a pessimist sometimes. That always scares me if I'm a Boise State fan, because how much was New Mexico looking ahead to the big game against Boise on Friday, as opposed to focusing on the task at hand against San Jose State? But
or it goes the other way. They're upset
knows?
And they're teetering in the wrong direction now because they lost, and a good feeling confident Boise State comes in, and New Mexico is a little unsure about themselves, and maybe they're prime for the taking on Friday night.
Leon said it tonight at the post-game presser. So much of conference play is less about where you play them and who you play, and so much more about when you play them. And who knows, maybe this is a case where Boise State is getting hot at the right time, and New Mexico is starting to take a little bit of a step back. I mean, shoot, you look at the past 2 or 3 years of New Mexico basketball. Year after year, it's been really hot start and started to fade down the stretch. You know, Bronco Nation certainly hoping that this is the start of their fade down the stretch, as it does look like Nevada's taking the lead on Air Force. So they're
going to win that game. 16 seconds left, I believe. They're up 4, so they avoid but they were favored by like 20 in that game.
Yeah,
they're going to win by 4. So Nevada's really, really struggling.
Yeah, Air Force is not a great basketball team, or football team this year, but not a great basketball team. Nevada might just not be that good. 1-4 now in
Yeah.
conference play, and had to go to overtime against Fresno State. That was one that, as we were projecting Boise State the rest of the year, you were looking at Nevada as a quad 2 game because had a pretty good non-conference showing. Most of those losses had been close, but when you start winning close against some worse teams, all of a sudden now that's going to shift some of the dynamics for Boise State's bracket hopes going forward.
Now, this was your first game as a media member. Save the credential, and other than, there's only one time we had to get on you for cheering. He did clap one time, I think, and John Mallory had to get on him. Jay Tuss turned around and I think said something as well. So you're learning. We at least got you out of the blue and orange today. But what was the experience like in the media section instead of probably not as fun as up in the stands?
A little bit of both. It was nice to be able to not have to be locked in cheering the entire game and be able to sit back, relax a little bit. Be able to talk a little bit with you and with Johnny. It was a good time, great experience. Really grateful for the opportunity here. But
you had the laptop out. You're able to kind of look up some stats and things.
Yeah,
it's a different perspective than when you're having a cold one in the stands there.
Yeah, definitely. And when I was a student here, that wasn't even an option to have a cold one in the stands. So
I'm not even saying you just, in general, the fans, can be a little more laid back and getting on the refs, whatever. And you were there with the press pass and the notepad we were just giving you crap. But you got to listen into the post-game press conference as well. What were just kind of your general takeaways? 96-55. You heard what Abe Jackson had to say, but this was a butt kicking from start to finish.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Not many complaints from Leon, I imagine, in the locker room after this one. Not many complaints from fans on Twitter after this one, I imagine. What is there to say? Boise State they won the turnover margin. They out-rebounded Wyoming. They shot 59% and 50% from three. They hit 70% of their free throws. They did everything that you want a team to do, and Wyoming's not a bad team. This is a fairly competitive team. It was a 12, 13 point spread according to Vegas. And, it's the type of game that if you're not careful, they can get you. I mean, we just saw that with New Mexico. So to be able to come out here and play as well as they did, very encouraging sign going into that New Mexico game. The number that kind of stood out for me, that Utah State game, the thing that really killed Boise State was the defense, right? We talked about it, only 4 stops in the second half of that game. Utah State had 1.4 points per possession in that game, which is absurdly high. Boise State tonight has 1.41. It was almost like some sort of spiritual moment of, okay, we couldn't get that Utah State win, but we played well enough offensively to outperform and perform them if we get them again.
Was Wyoming just missing a lot of open shots? Did you think the defensive effort was better? I mean, what did you make of the defense?
Little bit of both. I mean, there were some bunnies that Wyoming missed, especially in the first half. And when you're down 35 points, it's tough to get back in it, and it mostly just becomes a shoot around, right? Wyoming starts chucking some threes, and that's a little bit of Wyoming's been this season. You look at some of their performances; they can get hot from three and be pretty competitive, but there are games where they go a little cold, and it's been tough for them to get points. But I thought the defensive intensity was absolutely there, and one of the big points for me was the defensive rebounding for Boise State. I mean, we've talked about it time and time again. Coming into the game, they were 6th in the nation in defensive rebounding, and felt like they dominated the defensive glass all game. Wyoming had just 6 offensive rebounds, and I'm curious how many of those came in garbage time. It looks like most of those came from one of Wyoming's bench warmers who came in late. So when you're limiting teams to one shot, and then you get the rebound, it really, really affects their ability to get points, right? And we see that on the other end, Boise State continually attacking the offensive glass early in the game. One moment that stood out for me was Chris Lockett getting an offensive rebound, kicks it out to Andrew Meadow, who gets a 3 that I think extended the lead to 10-5. And it's little things like that start to add up in the long run. So the defensive intensity was there. Wyoming, obviously, they didn't do their part in making some shots, but look, that's how basketball goes. It's a make or miss game, and when teams are missing and you can't give them extra shots, usually you'll end up with a performance like this one.
I mean, just looking at the stat line here, this is going to be a tough call for the Bauscher Real Estate Player of the Game. I mean, Cardenas quietly has 8 assists again, 14 and 8 for him. Degenhart, 14 and 4 in only 17 minutes. Chris Lockett, 11. We mentioned Bowie was 16. I mean, 5 of 6 from 3. I'm going to probably have a hard time not going with Julian Bowie for the player of the game tonight. 5 of 6 from 3, as we said. No, he did have 4 turnovers, but 3 rebounds. I thought, he looked confident letting it fly there with his shot. I mean, there was one time where he was kind of, thinking he was going to drive, and he's like and then he just kind of popped it right in the guy's face and hit a 3. And so you go down the line here, 18 for Meadow as well. It really was a team effort tonight, and it's going to take a lot of team efforts like this, moving forward here.
Yeah, absolutely. And, this team's been lacking shooting all year. I mean, Leon's talked about it. You've talked about it. I've written about it. To find a game like this where as a team, everyone gets hot and led by Julian Bowie, having his career high up to this point with 16, makes such a huge difference going forwards, knowing when you go down to the pit, you're not going to be relying on a 29% shooting team, right? You start to feel more confident that this is a team that can score, hit 10 threes in a game or shoot 35 or 40%. But Julian Bowie's phenomenal. Alvaro Cardenas was the Ken Palm MVP in this one. Offensive rating of 199, which I don't know if I've ever seen before. So when he was involved in an offensive action, Boise State was essentially scoring 2 points per possession, and he had a plus-minus of 43 in this
Which was
one.
maybe the funniest quote of the post games. Somebody asked him, hey, man, have you ever been a part of a game where you were plus 43? So when Alvaro Cardenas was on the court tonight, Boise State outscored Wyoming by 43 points. And someone said, has he ever been a part of that? And he's like, come on, man. You know where I turn. You know where I used to play. Like, they didn't win very many games, period. Think about ever win a game by 43 to have a chance where he outscored his opponent by 43 points. So, he was incredible tonight. And you just wish you had him for more than 1 year, man. The impact he's making on this team, I think if you'd had him on some of these teams in previous years, definitely last year's team, he could have made an impact. I mean, he's just a fun player to watch, man. He's so competitive, and he's just the different passes he can make, but he's not afraid to drive. We saw him with one of the left-handed, scoop shots in the first half, some of the threes he can hit. Like, he is just I'm gonna toot my own horn a little bit. Like, when they got him, I thought that was a really, really big deal. And there were some other people, including media members, including people that I pay to work at BNN, that didn't really, I think, understand the magnitude of the impact that he was going to make. And they just kind of thought, okay, it's a San Jose State player, whatever. But anyone that had watched him play and knew the kind of offense Boise State runs and the kind of point guard they need, I mean, I thought he'd be a good fit, but it's hard to, he's been maybe even better than anybody could have imagined.
Yeah, I mean, he's been the second pillar on this team. It's been him and Tyson all year, just with all of the lineup changes, and we got another one with Ubo getting the start tonight. Time and time again, it is Cardenas and Dagenhart who are getting the bulk of the minutes. And I mean, Cardenas actually leads the team in terms of minutes played, led the team again tonight. And the thing that's becoming special about Cardenas was early in the year, you saw the passing, you saw the scoring potential, but he wasn't hitting threes, and there were some turnover issues. 8 assists tonight, but only 1 turnover. I think that's the 3rd straight game he's had 1 turnover or less in. And he went 2 of 2 from 3, knocked down both of his threes that he took. What he can add as a shooter for this team is one of the things that this team's desperately been missing, right? Guys like Tyson, guys like Omar Stanley, even an Andrew Meadow, you don't necessarily expect them to be elite shooters. They haven't shown that in their college career. Alvaro Cardenas was a 39% shooter last year at San Jose State, taking a lot of tough, contested self-creation threes. And when he starts the year shooting, I think it was 27% from 3. At some point we were going to get some reversion to the mean. We're starting to see it. If Alvaro Cardenas is playing this well, this efficient throughout the rest of the year, Boise State's going to be really, really tough to beat. And I mean, we saw it in Utah State. It took Utah State to score on all but 4 offensive possessions and shoot 80% in the second half to be able to knock off this Boise State team.
Yep.
I think sometimes fans can look at that and say, oh, Boise State's got issues, but sometimes a game is about the team that you play. And I think that game, we'll look back on it and say, you know what, Utah State just got insanely hot and won a game in front of a great crowd.
I agree. I totally agree. And that's why, like I said earlier with Abe, like I was positive after that game. Yeah, it stunk they lost, but I saw a lot. And, I think people sometimes just look at the final result and don't maybe look necessarily at the bigger picture. And I thought that they showed a lot of signs in that game that, again, I'm not saying they're going to be an at-large team. They have a lot of work left to do, but I certainly feel like they've shown these last couple of games that they're a team that's getting better. And we've seen a lot of these Leon Rice teams, and everyone wants to, talk about the end of the season or whatever. That's fine. But you go back and look at their their season records or whatever, like they get hot in the middle of the season. They maybe start off a little slow, they figure some things out, and they take off for a while. And it certainly looks like that they may be on the precipice of that. I mean, I think they have a great chance to go down and win Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the way that Boise State's starting to play, especially offensively, number one offense in the Mountain West right now, you start to look at a team that can get hot and go win the Mountain West tournament as well, right? Obviously, you hope that the at-large bid is there. You never want to bank on winning 3 games straight in Vegas to get your NCAA tournament bid, but this team's playing really, really well. And one of the things that Leon Rice has done exceptionally well, especially in these last 4 or 5 years, is he's figured out conference play. I think you shared the stat on Twitter that over the past 4 years, Boise State has the best record in conference play over the past 4 or 5 seasons. Leon knows how to go out in conference play, get wins, especially in some of these tough places to play like the Pit. So if this team's starting to get hot, starting to make shots, you combine that with Leon's coaching experience. I think there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic for Bronco Nation. And at the end of the day, like, is Boise State near the bubble picture right now? No.
Not close.
But they're not locked out yet. There are some teams like Boston College that have no chance. They got to win their conference tournament. Boise State's not there yet. If Boise State can finish this stretch 11-2, I think that they're going to be on the right side of the bubble come Selection Sunday.
I don't know who Tyler K is, but maybe he needs a free subscription or something here. So I want to take a moment to defend BJ. He said after the Fiesta Bowl, they'd only lose 1-2 players. He said San Jose State would pick somebody off, which they just did against New Mexico. And he said the basketball team was figuring it out. So maybe, the lottery numbers, I don't know what else you want, but I'm wrong often. I just felt in the Utah State game, that shot bounced around 7 times and went in. When you're up 13, I mean, I'm not trying to excuse it. It wasn't just lucky shots. Like, you're up 13, you have to win that game. The defense was not good. But I guess from my perspective, I thought the bigger issue was figuring out the offense and just some of the different things I saw in that game. I still thought it was an encouraging sign moving forward. Again, is it too little too late for the at-large? Are they in a tough spot now? Maybe so. We'll see. But I think there's enough runway left where they can win a lot of games and at least be in the hunt and at least be a team that not very many people are going to want to play in that conference tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. And we knew going into the year the way that Leon constructed this roster. You look at these past 3 tournament teams, they were elite defensive teams who were good offensively. And why did those teams break down in the tournament? In 2 out of the 3 years, it was the offense broke down. It felt like Leon was making a concerted effort. This year, he wants to be elite offensively and be good enough defensively. And to start the year, the offense wasn't elite. It was a good offense and a good defense, which gets you a good basketball team that probably doesn't make the tournament. We're starting to see the offense creep into that elite range. And again, since conference play started, Boise State basketball is the number 1 offense in the Mountain West. So if they're the number 1 offense in the Mountain West, no one's going to want to play that sort of offense. Especially if you've got, Tyson and Meadow and Cardenas and Bowie, and now you got Carmichael coming in, just a plethora of guys who are shooters who can score in bunches. Friday will be telling. Yeah. Friday will certainly clear up the picture. It is a must-win game as must-win games come. Quad 1 opportunity for a team that only has 1 win in quad 1 right now. But man, if they get a win on Friday, the momentum's going to be rolling for the rest of the season.
I mean, they got a lot of work to do. I'm not trying to say told you so. They're a Final Four team. Like, no, they got a lot of work still to do. But I don't think you could watch the last 3 games and not think it's trending in the right direction.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man. By the way, it's funny. All the guys that were all over the chat when they lost to Utah State, this AP dude and some of these other people, they're just, magically just not.
Yeah, I don't see them.
They're not in the chat tonight. The folks that love to jump on after a 2-point loss like that and have all their criticisms and same old. It's really funny. That I don't see them in the chat anywhere tonight in terms of some of the guys that love to come on after they lose. It's funny. It's not even the same people. It's just maybe I'm missing them. Maybe AP and all these guys are here, but the same 3 or 4 guys that want to come on and go crazy and rip on them when they lose, they just magically don't show up.
Strange.
Not much for them to say. Not much for them to say tonight, but we'll see. Hey, man, appreciate you.
Yep.
You do have a Leon Rice story going up tomorrow. Do you want to give that a quick 20-second plug?
Yeah, story going up tomorrow. Boise State doesn't have a Leon Rice problem. Those fans who are no longer in the chat tonight, but were eager to voice their opinions after the Utah State loss. They're quick to blame Leon and say Leon can't get it done. I just took a look back. What has the Leon Rice era been? What did things look like before Leon got here? And my takeaway is Boise State fans should realize kind of how good they have it compared to the history of this program. So, be on the lookout for that tomorrow morning.
All right, let's hear from Sundance Wicks, the Wyoming coach. We're going to try this. He was doing his post-game radio interview. He didn't do any kind of local interviews with us, but they said we could record his post-game radio. So Jaden Finch got this. I have not heard the audio yet. Turn your volume up, I'm guessing, because he was on the radio, and it's not perfect, but turn your volume up on this. I like getting the opposing coach perspective. So if it's just too bad, I'll get out of this. But let's hear from the Wyoming head coach. Again, this is the best we can do with audio and video. But the Wyoming head coach, Sundance Wicks, first-year coach, 96-55 final. Curious to hear what he has to say after a 41-point loss.
Obi led 3-0, and then it got sideways quickly against this team. And when that happens and they're shooting the way they did, it just completely snowballed on the Pokes tonight.
Well, there's only one thing a box score can tell you tonight is we got our butts kicked. All right, that's about all it can tell you. You can look at that thing 10 ways if you want to, but you got your butt kicked tonight. And I haven't felt that since Texas Tech. Hats off to Boise, man. They shot the cover off that thing. The ball wasn't even hitting the rim. It was unbelievable. I'm not sure it even hit the net, to be honest with you, in a lot of ways. But that is a response from a championship-level team, and I'll give them their flowers. That was a must-win for those guys, right? And how they responded, and that's 4 of the last 5 NCAA tournaments. They won the league title. That's a championship-caliber team that knows the expectation and the standard, right? I told our guys, I don't care what our record is right now. Most of our guys haven't been in must-win situations yet. Well, they're in a must-win situation now because we got the Sheep coming in on Saturday. And that's a must-win for them. And I want them to feel that because there's a lot of pride that I have in that, and I know the state has in that game. And I'm not going to lose the locker room after tonight and lose the game on Saturday because of the way I felt about how we played today.
Coach, one thing that I think is a little bit underrated about the Broncos, they play so well defensively, and Cowboys just didn't have any room to breathe.
Physicality 1 through 5, right? And we did a T-tape last time on those guys about finishing through physicality. Missed 14 layups with them at home. You got a chance to get a first-round knockout with Boise, New Mexico, and Utah State when you're playing. You can't sneak up on anybody anymore once you've got a reputation for being a team that's kind of sneaky good, right? We're not good yet. We're sneaky good. And when you get a chance to knock them out, you got to take advantage of those situations. We didn't do it. But to your point, all right, physicality 1 through 5. They finish your physicality, we don't. And look, there's grown men in there that have been in a weight room program for 4 years, 3 years, 2 years. And we got to get the consistent cultural development that we need to be able to come back in here. And there'll be a time, man, 14 of the last 15 have went to the Broncos. One time we beat them in 21-22 at home. And it's been 11 years since we've won in Boise. So this ain't the first time, but I'd like to see a little better competitive effort from our guys.
You mentioned Texas Tech, but haven't felt this since Texas Tech. The response after that, Cowboys played better after that. It's all about that now, responding well. You said must-win game, and we'll see what the next few days of practice leading up to CSU is going to be all about.
Yeah, life is about response, right? And so much of this is not like what happens to you, but what you do after what happens to you. And for me, I want to see our guys respond. I told them in the locker room, I'm not going to sit here. I pretty much had my post-game speech at halftime for those guys. So that one was a little bit different tone than the one we're talking right now. But I just told them, man, like, this is the big-time response. We're going to see who we are and what we're made of. And we got to have great practice Thursday and Friday. And I said, don't be coming in here with your head, your tail between your legs and your head down. You're going to pick your chin up and get going. I mean, this is life, man. It's so much more. There's so many bigger battles out there than what we're facing right now on the floor. And I don't want to get all preachy and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, if this is the worst thing that happens to you, you're living a pretty good life.
Sundance, we appreciate the time, and we'll see you tomorrow night, right?
Hey, BYOJ, go Pokes. Let's see everybody out there on Saturday. We're going to need a lot of support out there on Saturday for these guys because it takes all of us. It takes all of us to go get this done. And so let's go get one on Saturday.
Thanks, Sonny.
Thanks, Coach.
There he is, Sundance Wicks, the Wyoming coach, doing his post-game radio interview. We appreciate Jaden Finch for going over and getting that. We'll hear from Boise State's head coach, Leon Rice, in just a moment. Let us know who your Matt Boucher Real Estate Player of the Game is as well, and we'll get that here in the ICCU YouTube chat shortly. But do want to thank the SpaTeam.com and Snake River Pool and Spa Patio and Games. Locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. Been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team, whether it's a spa, whether it's a sauna, whether it's a pool table for the game room, they got you covered. Check them out online at thespateam.com. And again, that's Snake River Pool and Spa. Hey, the Fiesta Bowl gear is half off at the Blue and Orange Store. If you're looking for some Boise State gear, the Blue and Orange Store has it half off. So I know that the game didn't go too well, but it's still a great accomplishment, and a lot of folks still trying to get some gear to represent this season, remember the season, and it was a heck of a year, and you can have that gear for half off now. So check them out online at theblueandorangestore.com or anywhere in the world. You can go online, or you can just go in person, Boise Town Square Mall, right there on the second floor next to Perimage. The Blue and Orange Store, Fiesta Bowl gear half off. They still have some Ashton Genty NIL gear as well. You can help support him, put a little extra money in his pocket before he heads off to the NFL. That's they got some basketball gear, Tyson Degenhart stuff as well. The Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. Hey, Lithia Ford of Boise, lithiafordboise.com. They got 6 NIL deals with student athletes at Boise State, so return the favor. I know a lot of coaches, athletic department staff, they're all rocking vehicles from Lithia Ford of Boise. So the Rains family, we've got our F-150 from Lithia Ford. We loving it, loved Kim, our salesperson, every step of the way with the process, and just very thankful that we chose Lithia Ford of Boise for our F-150 purchase. And that weather is getting icy, snowy, it's coming, so make sure you have a 4-wheel drive vehicle, and return the favor, folks. One of the biggest supporters of Boise State Athletics, Lithia Ford of Boise. Return that favor next time you're looking for that car or truck at lithiafordboise.com. Hey, shopridleys.com. Our friends at Ridley's Family Markets. They got 13 locations in the state of Idaho, surrounding states as well. You just get that friendly hometown feel, and when you walk in the grocery store there at Ridley, it's just a great environment, great staff, and it just makes you feel like you're home when you walk in to Ridley's. So Ridley's Family Markets, love that Kuna location. They've got a Magic Valley, Treasure Valley, McCall, all around the state of Idaho and the surrounding states, and download that Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line. Again, find a location near you to get their latest deals and offers at shopridleys.com. Going to hear from Leon Rice momentarily, but hey, transportation compliance service, transcomservice.com. If you're looking for a job, highly recommend the folks over at transcomservice.com. They can help you get into the trucking industry, whether it's a DOT, overweight, all the different paperwork and permits. More than 75% of the people that try to do it themselves end up going out of business. Let the professionals, Transportation Compliance Service, help you out. It's a local company based in the Treasure Valley, helping folks all over the world. And again, if you're looking for a new career change, consider Transportation Compliance Service, transcomservice.com. We're back on the Jacksons Postgame Show. We want your players of the game. We want your thoughts. If you're feeling better about Friday's game now, let us know your thoughts in the ICCU YouTube chat after Boise State takes down Wyoming 96-55. 96-55. Here's the head coach, the victorious head coach, Leon Rice, after the win.
I like it. It was like a spring day in Boise today, I thought.
Hello, working media.
All right, here we go.
The offense again tonight just continued to produce. It's 3 games now. I know you kept saying the shots were going to start falling, the offense was going to come. Is this kind of what you envisioned?
Yeah, but I think that our defense got everything going. The energy we played with on defense kind of carried over to our offense. And, sometimes it's funny because sometimes your offense, you feel like, we've had games where I thought we played great offense, just didn't, the operation was a success, but you miss the shot, so the patient dies. Sometimes making shots covers up for a loss, but we got each other great shots. We moved the ball really well. We had great pace to our offense, but I thought it started with our defense because, when you have a team, different teams have different strengths and things you got to work on, and you find those weaknesses and you start working on them, you get them better at it. Well, I think you're seeing a team that's kind of coming together in all aspects of the game. I wasn't just being positive, Pollyanna positive about our shooting. I believed that, and I knew it because they're too good of shooters and now you're starting to see that take shape. And our offense was so efficient. What did we end up shooting from the, 50, almost 59% and 50 from 3. So that looked like a good offensive team, but I was more pleased with the defensive jump that we made. And, I've been spinning things, but, I made the decision to go with Emmanuel because of his defense. And he stepped up, and I have a special place in my heart for those guys that they show up every day with a great attitude, and they work and they keep getting better, and they are positive regardless of their circumstances, whether they played 3 minutes or 20 minutes. And they're like, nope, it's on me. I'll get better. I'll keep getting better. And then when they get their opportunity, they take make the best of it. And I've got a team full of guys like that, if things aren't going good, they'll just keep working, keep sawing wood to try to help this team. And that's why you see what you saw tonight is, hey, we were heartbroken. Those are heartbreakers. And when you lose a game like that, on two good teams playing, and somebody's got to lose, and they made one more shot than we did, and to recover from that the way we did, it says a lot about these guys and who they are.
I don't know how many different lineup combinations you guys have had now this season, but do you have a little fun kind of, tinkering with that, trying to figure out what the right lineup will be to have you guys have the most success?
I have more fun when I think I know everything, better. There's been too many unknowns of, I want to know what I'm getting from each guy every night. And again, that's just the modern era, I think. You just gotta, like I said, 8 guys that weren't in our uniforms last, so you got the freshman group over there that just, it's lack of experience at this level. And then you got other guys that just weren't in our system. You got other guys moving up from in, a lot of moving parts in those things. So experience matters. And with more experience, you probably get more consistency. And, you look at our 2 most consistent guys right now are Al and Tyson. You almost know what you're getting every night, and then sometimes they exceed what you think you're going to get. So that's what we want out of all our guys, and I think we're starting to settle into that.
When it comes to the depth that you have, Tyson played the fewest minutes he's played in a game since he decided to start him in Game 7 of his true freshman.
Oh, is that true? Wow.
How before you go back-to-back roadie coming up here, how big is that? Nobody played over 20 minutes.
Yeah. No, I think that's huge because this, me and some other coaches in this league were talking about, this is the first time we've ever played 20 league games. And it is a war of attrition, You're gonna, we played Saturday, we flew home, we prepped on Sunday, we practiced. You're trying to squeeze all this in such a short time and keep your guys fresh. And it's the teams that maybe have some depth that, we're not even out of January yet. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a valuable thing that's going to pay dividends down the road.
Are some of those dividends, I'll go back to the Spokane years. I think you guys only played 14 league games most years.
Right.
It was an 18
right.
WCC, but the depth on this, and some of those Gonzaga teams,
Mm-hmm.
you guys had future NBA players
Right.
on your second team in practice.
Yeah, you're right.
Is that kind of close to this where you can finally...
Well, here's what would happen in those teams. When we had a ton of depth, we'd go 14-0. When we had pretty good depth, we go 13-1. When we didn't have enough depth, we go 12-2. That was pretty consistent because if it was just 5 or 4 or 5 or 6 guys, they could have bad nights. But when you have 11 that are contributing, that can get going, that gets you through if some, or it gets you through anything that might happen that's weird or, guy falling out or things like that. And I think but when you play a 20-game league schedule, the grind of that's where our depth is gonna, and then, fighting for minutes is, not maybe fighting, I shouldn't say, but let me go play as hard as I can for 3.5 minutes, and then you're subbing in an all-league player behind it, and then here comes another guy that's really good, and here comes, but there's no drop-off. The other team's like, God, they got a lead, and then those subs extended the lead, So that's I think that's where we're going to keep growing and getting better. Because, like you said, there's 3 freshmen that have played a lot of minutes. They're going to be better in 30 days. They're going to be better in 60 days than they are now. Like Julian did some great things tonight, and he had 4 turnovers. And I said, the way you're shooting it, just shoot it. We'll go rebound it, but we won't have to rebound it. You'll make it. So, but that's game experience. He needs to just, and he will. He's a great athlete and great player, but that's a freshman getting more game experience that's much needed.
It's pretty rare, since you've been here, for true freshmen to play ball in Idaho.
Yeah.
Make the impact he's doing. How much more comfortable do you see him kind of getting and growing?
Well, I knew what we had, and as far as his ability, I mean, you look at these freshmen, all three of them. There's a reason they're playing. They're not playing because I love them. You know, they're. I mean, I do, but they're playing. They're good players, and they're just going to get better and better and better. And you know, because we're going to coach them hard. We're going to coach everybody on this team hard to make them better and better and better. Because, you know, I said it all along that we're kind of scratching through. And now you're starting to see some of the things I was talking about. I think, you know, so. No, that's what I said too. I said because usually in a game that's that much of a one-sided is that guy's not involved in every single point. That's impressive, and he made some spectacular plays. I thought that play at the end of the half was so impressive. You know, he knew where shooters were, and you know, what did he have? 8 assists in 27 minutes, right? So. Yeah, he's fun to watch.
How much will the experience Saturday with the crowd and everything help you guys more on Friday night?
I think it helps. I mean, I don't know how you measure it, but because think about this too. You have a bunch of guys that have never been in that kind of atmosphere, and I thought they did a great job. They had the right mindset, they had the right approach, they had the right, and that's as, you know, now you're talking about 2 of the best environments in the whole country. I mean, that day at Utah State, I don't remember anyone in my career that was that crazy loud and that, you know, and it affects the game. It does. And our guys, they did it. They handled it great. Now, think about that. All those guys that had never been in that, 3 freshmen that played, and guys that just hadn't been in that environment before, and they just get more and more comfortable in it, and we'll get better at it.
I know you don't control the schedule, but, you know, would you rather have those 2, you know, tough environments, Utah State and New Mexico, earlier in the conference schedule, or would you rather have?
I'd rather play all home games at the Boise State University. That's what they should do, like COVID. But everybody comes here and plays 2 games, and then they can go home. That would be a good. Yes.
But is there any advantage to?
I don't know. That's I think it's more, you know, I always say it's not who you play, it's when you play them. I think it's more about that. You catch a hop here or there that, you know, sometimes you just get lucky on who you play at the right time, or sometimes you get unlucky who you play at the wrong time. I mean, that's just the way basketball is. And over the course of a season, that might even out. Over the course of a career, it does. But sometimes you get a bunch of like, oh my God, they're playing great now, and we've had seem like we've had a lot of those right now. But hey, you play what's on your schedule, and our guys will go battle, and we're excited to go do it.
Thanks, Coach. Just one more on that specifically. What do you make of what, you know, obviously Dent, and obviously they're, you know, undefeated in the league right now?
Yeah, no, they've got a great look, and they're playing great, and you know, some of the best players in the league, and it seems like it's Coach Pitino's best team because of they're doing all the, you know, all the things, all the dirty work, and the, you know, that's how they beat San Diego State so bad. They out toughed them, and that's saying something, because you know, San Diego State came in here and out rebounded us, and they hammered them on the glass. I mean, it was so impressive, and he's doing an amazing job, and we know what we're in for.
And when we talked to Leon Rice there, that was a 1-point game, I think, with about 10 minutes to go. So not sure if he would have said anything differently if that game had already been final and they had lost. But he says, yeah, that didn't age well. New Mexico did lose. New Mexico fell tonight by 1 point, 71-70. They fell to San Jose State on the road at the Provident Credit Union Event Center. And, yeah, when Leon Rice did that interview, there was about 10 minutes still left in that game. Boise Rail fans saying New Mexico is going to be pissed off, really nervous about Friday. I feel like they might have been looking ahead to Boise, ended up losing the game they played. It can go one of 2 ways. I mean, yeah, you look at Boise State, they lost at Utah State. They were mad. They came back, played much better, and blew out Wyoming. So, yeah, New Mexico could bounce back and be feeling much better, but they've also got to get on a plane tonight or tomorrow morning, or probably tonight, a charter, and come all the way back and only have 2 days themselves to try to turn the page. And that's not an easy thing to do, especially when you're playing a good team. So, maybe some of the fans may not show up for a 9 p.m. game on a Friday now if they're mad about that loss. I mean, it can go one of two ways. Maybe all of a sudden they're teetering a little bit, and they think their great season just kind of went up in flames in terms of an at-large bid and things like that. So maybe they're prime, ripe for the picking. Maybe they're got some internal issues going on. Who knows? I think that as Todd says, maybe they put too much pressure on themselves. Can't let one loss turn into two. Can't lose a home game now. I mean, maybe. So I don't subscribe that it's solely going to tick them off and they're going to come back and play a great game and it's terrible news for Boise State. I mean, it may prove to be that, but I think it could go the other way too. You never know. I think I've seen it go the other way where all of a sudden they do put a little pressure on themselves or they're upset and still thinking about that, not letting one loss turn into two. And so, they were on the road. They do get to obviously come home, but they're going to not be feeling great about it. And Boise State's coming in with a ton of momentum. Boise State, I know they lost that Utah State game, but 2-1 in their last three. And I think if there's no way, even if you're a hater or whatever, that you can't see that it's trending in the right direction. I mean, is it going to be enough to get them into the tournament? Is it enough to win the league? I don't know. But, you're talking about a league race now where you're only, 2 games back of Utah State. You still play Utah State, in Boise. They've got some tough road games to play still, and now you get a chance to tie New Mexico with 2 losses on Friday. So I still think I think that certainly this is an opportunity for Boise State to pick up a big win, and whether it be for the metrics, for the league race, for all that good stuff, I certainly think this is a big opportunity for Boise State coming up on Friday, and we'll see how New Mexico responds. The Pit obviously is going to be a tough place to play, but everybody remembers last year Boise State went down there with Max Rice and won the game in overtime. So, I mean, they've got some history of playing well down there, and we'll obviously, see what happens. We'll have 2 days to talk about that, but I do want to hear a little bit from the players briefly. We're almost at an hour here. We do have a pretty good viewership still since this is only 10:37, a little earlier with the 7 p.m. start. Do have a couple more sponsors I do want to thank, though, including Lean Feast, leanfeastmeridian.com, leanfeastmeridian.com, 10,000 plus combinations, healthy eating options, leanfeastmeridian.com, 10,000 combinations, steak, shrimp, chicken, fish, all that good stuff, leanfeastmeridian.com. They feed the basketball team, they feed the football team, and they can feed you as well. 5 days, it's good in the refrigerator, it's good in your microwave for 2 minutes, and you're eating healthy meal options, all various diets and things like that. So leanfeastmeridian.com, leanfeastmeridian.com. We'll take your voicemails. I forgot to check to see if we had any. Speakpipe.com/BNN. If there is a voicemail, we'll play that tomorrow. Speakpipe.com/BNN. It's brought to you by Signature Roofing, mysignatureroofing.com, covering our community for more than 2 decades. Whether it's a re-roof, a repair, a estimate, an inspection, mysignatureroofing.com. Check them out. They've been covering our community, as I said, for 2 decades, and we appreciate Joel and Watts and the whole crew there. And RJ Keene is going to join us tomorrow, courtesy of Signature Roofing. He's got an NIL deal with them. RJ Keene will join us on tomorrow morning's Bronco Nation News Live. So make sure you check out Bronco Nation News Live tomorrow. And RJ Keene will join us tomorrow on Bronco Nation News Live at 9 a.m. Ty Benefield also is going to join us 9 a.m. tomorrow. Ty Benefield, and we're going to talk tomorrow with him about his unfortunate situation with his grandparents' house burning down in the wildfires. So we're going to get the word out about how folks can help donate and help out Ty Benefield's family. We're also going to have Brad Bedell join us as well. So Brad Bedell talking football, and then we mentioned the other couple of guys we're going to have join us as well, including RJ Keene and Ty Benefield. So a lot to get to on tomorrow at 9 a.m. on Bronco Nation News Live. Let's hear briefly Omar Stanley. We had 4 players tonight, by the way. We had 2 before, then we had Leon, then we had 2 after, just because of we're not doing media before they leave town to go to New Mexico, so they gave us a couple extra players. So there's 2 different videos that are probably already up on YouTube. But let's hear briefly Emmanuel Ugbo getting his first start. 10 different players have already started a game for Boise State. How crazy is that? 10 different players have started a game this season for Boise State. One of those is Emmanuel Ugbo. He spoke with Omar Stanley after the game.
Sorry? Getting the start, what was that like? It was amazing. I was really happy. We have a good team. I've been working hard, so I was really happy that Coach gave me this chance.
When were you told that you get the start?
Before shoot-around this morning.
What was your reaction to it?
I was really happy. He asked me, he said, what would you do if I start you tonight? I said, I'll be happy. He said, okay, you're starting tonight. That's how it went.
You guys been searching for the right starting 5. I mean, when you found out you're going to get the chance and you had 7 and 7 tonight, what did you want to do to try to hold on to that spot as long as possible?
I mean, yeah, of course. I just went out there, played hard, and that's what the coaches asked from me. So whatever the coaches want me to do, I'll do that. And
sounds like it's because of your defense. But I mean, what do you think you bring when you're out there?
Communication, defense. I think I fly around a lot and try to make the right play on the defensive end, and rebounding. So I think I bring that for the team.
Omar, I'm not sure how many lineup combinations there have been this season, but I was asking Al about it. He said that's almost a strength of this team, just showing the depth. I mean, what do you make of kind of all the number of lineup combinations you guys have been able to go with this year?
And no, I like it. I think it's good. Our team is really, really strong, and our depth is like I said before, like we like our bench, like they're really, really long, and it's big, and it's we're really strong. You know what I mean? So we have a really, really great depth, and I like it. You know what I mean? Able to switch it up and be unpredictable against other teams.
Omar, first time I saw him, he was shooting free throws, and I thought it was like an NBA guy who was in town for a workout.
Yeah.
What's his ceiling, like potentially? I mean, are we looking at possibly like a future one of the top 5 players in the Mountain West of everything?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, well, to start off, besides his play and besides how he looks, like he's the ultimate teammate. You know what I mean? Like everything he did tonight, as far as his defense, as far as his communication, as far as his extra efforts, he does it all at an elite level. You know what I mean? It's really uncoachable. You know what I mean? It's something you want to be around. His aura is crazy, right? Like his aura is insane. As far as his skill, like he works hard every day. You know what I mean? Like we all work hard. We push each other every day. I try to give the tips that I can. I try to give as many tips to him as I can. You know what I mean? I try to give everything I got because I've been in here for 4 years, and so I know kind of the ropes a little bit. But his ceiling is it's crazy.
Emmanuel, as you're watching other guys on the team get starts throughout the year, was there ever kind of a sense for you like, hey, maybe this could be my chance soon?
To be honest, no. I was just like, I'm just gonna put my head down and work hard, and whatever happens. I was never really worried about I want to start so bad, or I was just working hard. I'll come in, work out with Lex, watch extra film with the coaches, and then go to practice and just play hard. I was like, my time is gonna come, and that's just what I believe in. I believe in God that if you do good, you get good back, and I think I've been a good teammate, and I'm just happy that Coach Leon gave me this chance today.
Amen.
It's been an up and down season for you. Where are you kind of at right now?
I'm still, working on getting my confidence back. You know what I mean? So we're still working hard. Working every day. And I really want to thank my teammates, because they've been consistent. They've been, with me. I want to thank the coaches as well. And last but not least, I want to thank God. You know what I mean? He's kept me consistent. He's kept me level-headed for the most part. Whenever it is, highs and lows. I always try to stay even kill. And remember what the bigger purpose is.
Today they're doing some Bronco Bold stuff and mental health awareness and stuff. Well, why is that important to you?
I think it's very, very important, for student athletes to kind of get that either as help or get the recognition, to understand that mental health is important, and everybody's going through something, and it's okay to reach out.
Well, that just being said, Omar, right? So I guess was it just a confidence thing for you, and like you said, your teammates kind of helping you out. So I guess what did that involve? Was it just kind of hyping you up for practice, or was it sitting down talking to you? How do you get back to this point?
Yeah, a little bit of everything, you know what I mean? But, like I said, like just my team being there, you know what I mean? Whether it's on the court, whether it's after practice, before games, after games, whatever, they're always there for me. I really appreciate it.
Obviously, not trying to intrude, so you don't have to say anything if you don't want to. Just how did you lose your confidence? I mean, you're an all-league type player, like you've been playing good. Like what happened?
We're still trying to figure it out, but the most part is the better. The good thing is, we got a 40-point win tonight, and I'm super proud, and I'm super happy for this guy right here for getting his first start.
Does this team need?
Well, there they are, and appreciate kudos to Omar Stanley. He's been going through some stuff personally, some confidence issues. You heard him talking about it there, and he came out and talked about it, and obviously mental health with the Bronco Bold program tonight. So thanks to Omar, and that's one of those sensitive things where you're not trying to intrude, but they put him up there and said he was cool to talk, and so you want to kind of know what's going on and how they can kind of get him right. And obviously, he's a very key part of this team. So if they can get Omar Stanley back to being the Omar Stanley of old, that only makes this team even better. And that's one of the reasons why I think that there's a lot of potential for this team moving forward here. Would you rather have your 7 or 8 guys at this point? Yes. but you don't, and that's where you're at right now. And so the guys that you have, if you have 10 or 11 and that's what it takes, then that's who you have right now. So we are going to hear from Bowie and Alvaro Cardenas here in just a second, but that's why I do think this team is moving in the right direction, because there's still so much more improvement for guys like Stanley and some of these guys to make. So kudos to him. And yeah, the 10th different player to start a game tonight was Emmanuel Ugbo, and he provides 7 points, 7 rebounds. He was plus 26 tonight. So props to him for his performance. Let's hear briefly from Alvaro Cardenas and Julian Bowie after the game.
That feel, man. Like, that was points per possession, defense, everything seemed to click for you guys tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great night. I think what's special about this group, and Coach talked about, is how well we bounced back. We just came off a really tough loss over there at Utah State, and I think we responded perfectly the way everybody came to practice with energy, and it showed up today.
I know you can say both, but what stood out tonight, the offensive end or the defensive end?
I would say defensive end. Like, what would they have? Like 20 points they have? Like, that's really good. And I think, honestly, the way we played on offense against Utah State, we should have won that game. And we knew that defensively we needed to take a step forward, because they shot 80% in the second half. So I think we responded really well, and I think defensively is where we need to continue to improve.
How were practices last couple of days with Burns defensively? You guys get on you a little bit?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that was, like you said, that was the main thing in practice, is energy and defense, and it showed tonight. I mean, we brought a lot of energy and played good defense.
Al, this offense, there's 3 straight games, where this offense has been elite, high-level efficiency. Where do you think, I mean, was it always there and for some stupid reason the ball just wasn't going in? Or what are you guys doing differently now, especially these last 3 games, to be putting the ball in the hole like this?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been talking about it the whole year. Coach jokes about it where we're pregnant with threes, because we really know, like, we have a lot of good shooters on this team, and we know we can make them. And it just wasn't falling for whatever reason. I think there's also a lot of new players on the team, and things, just take a little bit of time to click. But I think the coaches are doing a great job of, just finding the things that work for us, and sticking to that.
Was it just a matter of you needed one game for those shots to fall and it was going to happen, do you think?
Yeah, I think the Utah State game was a good example of it. Like, we really shot it really well, and that's something that we can do consistently. So yeah, maybe, we opened that can and now we're going to rain threes, and obviously it's not always going to go in, but we're much better shooting team than what we had shown at the beginning of the
Same thing for me. I just feel like shots weren't falling that normally fall, and it was just a matter of time before they did. I mean, I got good looks from my teammates. Al's a great passer. He's always going to find me when he's open. Lockett hit me a couple times. Keaton had me. So, I mean, they really just found me, and I was knocking them down tonight.
I'll kind of, maybe you first, Julian, and then we'll build off that, Al. But that last shot in the second half, did you guys know you were 3 away from 50, and it just kind of seemed like once you hit that, you pushed it up the floor, you found them, and everybody's kind of went crazy?
Yeah, I mean, we just got the rebound and pushed up the floor as quick as you can, and Al found me, and I just let it fly and went in, and we just had a good, exciting.
We were thinking about head to have a middle ball screen, but with the time that was left, it was just go one-on-one, and whatever happens. I saw his guy overhelped a little bit, and I know my shooter's there.
Omar doing, coming along. I mean, you saw him last year. You went with the team and saw how he was a legitimate all-conference, all-league player, and he's working his way back up there. But what's your assessment on where Omar is right now?
He's still an all-conference player, and he's going to show that. We all have full confidence in him, and we're trying to tell him that we believe in him. We know he's going to turn it around. And yeah, we have no doubt in our mind that Omar's going to turn it up and help us how we need. And I think, honestly, he's on the right track. I feel like last couple of weeks, even if you guys don't see it in practice, his energy, the way he's leading, even today on the bench when I think he sat down for the last 11 minutes of the game, his energy was still there the whole time, and that's who we need him to be.
Sorry if you got asked this, the guy here late, but the last 3 games, what is just the role you guys are getting on? Even when you lost last game, Utah State, did you feel like there was still stuff to build on, and you feel like these last 3 games you're kind of turning it on here?
Yeah, I definitely do. I definitely feel like we're playing much better offensively, and today we played great defense. And that's our identity. We got to defend a lot better than we had and rebound the ball.
Al, I'm not sure how many different starting lineup combinations you played with this year. Another new one tonight. What's that been like? Just getting a new chemistry together with a new starting group.
Yeah.
Almost every couple games now. It feels like.
It's funny, is I was talking to somebody today. I'm like, I wonder if there's many teams in the country that have switched their starting lineup more than us. But that just shows that we have so many like good pieces in this team, and we legitimately play 11 guys or 12. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I think Ems, shout out to him. It's not easy to not play during a long period of time, and his energy in practice was amazing all along. Like he never, he never switched his energy. He was always super energetic. Talking on defense and all that stuff. And we knew we needed to get better on defense, and putting them on the starting lineup did just that.
So having that many possibilities is something you guys embrace as a strength then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most definitely.
You ever been in a game where your plus and minus was plus 43?
Well, you know where I played before, so, you can answer that question yourself.
Come on, bro.
No, I don't think so. But I mean, credit to my teammates. Credit to my teammates. They did the right thing. They set ball screens for me. They're moving better without the ball, so I can find them a little bit easier. So they're just making my life easy.
There's Alvaro Cardenas having some fun there. Didn't win too many games at San Jose State by 43 points. The full interviews of Cardenas and Bowie and Ugbo and Stanley, those are up on the YouTube channel Sundance Wicks, and then the full Leon Rice interview as well. All 4 of those interviews, as well as some highlights from this game, are all up on the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel. So if you're watching this on Facebook, or you're watching this on X, or if you're watching it on YouTube, make sure you are actually a subscriber on YouTube. Sometimes you're not actually a subscriber. The broadcast just pops up, or you search for it. Make sure you actually subscribe on YouTube, and make sure that you turn on your notifications so you know when we post new videos or when we go live. But all those full interviews, full highlights, all that good stuff is up on our YouTube channel. So make sure you go on there and check that out. I do want to mention our private jet trip that is coming up. Speaking of subscribing, if you are a paid subscriber to our website, bronconationnews.com, $50 is the deal we're running right now. It's for your first year, and then it goes up to $70 every year after that. But use the promo code, or the coupon code, I think it's called BNN50DEAL. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen there. If you go subscribe at bronconationnews.com, you get to read Mike Prater's columns, my articles, Nathan Carroll's articles, all of our exclusive content. You get a daily email, some other subscriber benefits, and one of your subscriber benefits is you're in the subscriber giveaway for a private jet trip for 2 heading down to Las Vegas for the game, and that is coming up in a couple of weeks when we go to Las Vegas for the game in February. But we are drawing this here this weekend, or on Monday or Tuesday. I'm going to Vegas after the New Mexico game, and we're going to be at Vegas at Circa and draw this winner. Derek Stevens may even help us pick the winner, the owner. So a lot of cool things about this trip we'll tell you about, but you get a round trip for 2 on a private jet. You get 2 tickets to the game. You get a night hotel at Circa. It's going to be an awesome time. You just got to be a yearly subscriber. So if you're already a yearly subscriber, you're already entered. You're automatically entered. If you want in this contest, just become a yearly subscriber. And when we go do the drawing, we're just going to take our list of our 1,000 subscribers or whatever it is and put them into the wheel and do the drawing live on the show. So we appreciate those of you that have already jumped on board lately to be part of this, and there's still time. And we appreciate Ridley's Family Markets and some of our other great sponsors. We need to pick a Bauscher Real Estate player of the game, and this is a really tough one tonight, but it's hard to go against Cardenas, 14-8, and a plus 43 in a conference game, but I've got to go with Julian Bowie hitting 5 threes tonight, 5 of 6 from three-point range in just 22 minutes. He hits 5 3-pointers, has a career high, also has 16 points. I got to give it to Julian Bowie, partially because I'm not sure if we'll get a chance to give it to him again. And Cardenas probably will win again. But honorable mention to Cardenas, 14-8. Andrew Meadow, 18 points. He's honorable mention. Tyson Degenhart, certainly honorable mention with 14 points himself. And Emmanuel Ugbo coming off the bench, 7 points, 7 rebounds. I mean, you got a lot of candidates here to pick. Right there, I do kind of agree with that. 3-way tie, Cardenas, Bowie, Meadow. I certainly think that you can have a lot of different guys tonight, but we'll go ahead and give the slight edge to Julian Bowie. Again, Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, our player of the game. Check him out online at BauscherRealEstate.com. And I know everybody has 5 friends that are realtors, but you'll really appreciate the service you get from Matt Bauscher and his team at Bauscher Real Estate. The Raines family purchased and sold our home to Matt Bauscher and with Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate, and we were very happy with the service, and you will be as well. Check them out online at BauscherRealEstate.com, and congrats to Julian Bowie, our Bauscher Real Estate player of the game. Yeah, plan your trip to Vegas. We're going to have some events at Circa. Last year it rained and our party got screwed up, but we're going to have a big party out at Circa, and have some free food, free drinks for some special giveaways and things. So we'll be telling you more about that moving forward here. But make the trip now. Plan your trip to Las Vegas. It's going to be a fun conference tournament. And this may be as important of a conference tournament as ever for Boise State, or at least in the recent years, because they may need to win a game or two, or maybe even need to win the whole tournament. So there's going to be a lot riding on the line for sure in Vegas coming up in March. And we'll have the trip first in February for our private jet trip for our winter. So make sure you're a yearly subscriber and eligible for that. All right, it is 10:56. We've been on the air for an hour and 15 minutes. Still, a couple hundred of you watching this live. So we're over 1,000 views. We appreciate all you guys that have hung with us and checked out here. 96-55 the final. I've still got a whole story to write and a lot of work to do here, so it's going to be a late night and then an early morning with 9 a.m. Bronco Nation News Live. So we'll tomorrow have Brad Bedell on. We will have Ty Benefield on, and then we will have RJ Keene as well. So don't miss tomorrow at 9 a.m. Talk some football with Brad Bedell. You can get your questions in for him. Ty Benefield will join us on his decision to return and the defense moving forward, but also his grandparents, unfortunately, losing their home in the fires there in California. And we'll get the word out on how folks can help donate to the GoFundMe for his grandparents. And then RJ Keene, courtesy of Signature Roofing, is going to join us as well coming up on tomorrow's show. So 9 a.m. tomorrow for Bronco Nation News Live. I say this at the end of every show, but you just watched an hour and 15-minute show for free on YouTube, and the least you can do is help support our sponsors, whether it's going to Taco Bell or Jacksons or Western Collective or rowpaint.com, going to Lithia, Florida, Boise, all the various sponsors we have, Lean Feast. I'm missing a lot of them, but just support the sponsors, folks. They make this show free on YouTube. And so when it's a 15, 20-second commercial and you want to tune out and say, why are we hearing more ads? It's because you get the trade-off is you get to watch this show for free on YouTube. So please support the sponsors. Please go to Taco Bell. Please go to Jackson's. Go on Thursday. Get the $2 hot dog and soda deal. Tell the sponsors, go buy your gear at the Blue and Orange store and tell the clerk you heard about it on Bronco Nation News, or thanks for advertising with Bronco Nation News. It's a small thing, but it really does add up for these sponsors to feel like they're getting their money's worth. So it is my plea at the end of every show. But if you want these shows to be free, if you want to continue to have coverage like this, please, please, please support the sponsors. Spend your money with the sponsors and tell the sponsors that you appreciate what they're doing for Bronco Nation News and that's why they're getting your business, because that is what helps keep them renewing for another year and helps us doing what we're doing here at Bronco Nation News. Jackson's, again, on Thursday is that $2 deal on Jackson's. $2 on Thursday gets you a hot dog, a soda, and a banana for $2 at Jackson's on Thursday, thanks to the Broncos scoring the 70 points tonight. I mentioned the Horseshoe Golden Ale. They're our studio sponsor at Western Collective. The Horseshoe Golden Ale donates a percentage of every sale back to the Horseshoe Collective to help put money in the student-athletes' pockets at Boise State. So make sure you support them. And, of course, it starts with our title sponsor, Andy Rowe and rowpaint.com. There would not be a Bronco Nation News without rowpaint.com. So all your painting needs and those concrete coatings, we did it twice at our old house. We'll be doing it this spring on our new back patio at our new house. I cannot recommend enough the concrete coatings from rowpaint.com. They've touched up our siding with some exterior painting as well in the past. All your painting needs, hit up our title sponsor, rowpaint.com. Andy Rose on Twitter. He's on social media. Thank him. Tell him you enjoy and Bronco Nation News and you're appreciative of him for sponsoring us. So all of our sponsors, and I know I forgot some of you, but we thanked them all earlier in the show, and we'll finish our broadcast here with a mention of our sponsors. But thank you to them. Thank you to you guys, those of you that are subscribers. Whether it's the $50 first year, whether you've been around since day one and you're paying the $70, we appreciate you as well. We cannot have Bronco Nation News without your financial support, and it means a ton to me. And you're not getting coverage like this. I don't say this to toot my own horn. I just say it to be a realist. No one else is. No other media members are still here in the building. They've all gone home, and no other media members other than Bob and Abe are going to be heading to the pit on Friday. So you'll be seeing live pregame warm-ups before the game and live interviews with Coach Rice and players after the game, one spot, and that's right here at Bronco Nation News. And I don't say that to brag. I say that because I thank you for making that possible, and just know that your support of the sponsors and your $50 subscription, your $70 subscription is going towards our hotel, our airplane flight, our equipment, to make all this possible for you. So we're investing back in the product, and we're trying to continue to raise our game in terms of adding people and bringing Nathan Carroll on board and adding, paying Abe Jackson more money to do some post-game shows now and things like that. So it's all because of what you guys are doing. So I appreciate you and thank you, and just know that the more that you guys can help us out, the more we can do to continue to give you guys the coverage that you deserve here of a CFP level football team and a NCAA tournament caliber basketball team here at at Boise State. So thanks again. This has been the Jacksons Postgame Show from the Western Collective Studios. Our title sponsor, of course, is rowpaint.com. Again, the final score, 96-55. Boise State wins this one. A blowout win over Wyoming. They move up to number 50 at Ken Palm, a 6-spot jump. We'll see where they jump in the net rankings tomorrow, and they are heading to the pit on Friday to take on a New Mexico team that just lost tonight in stunning fashion at San Jose State. Again, 96-55, the final. We'll be back 9 a.m. tomorrow. We'll be on the air in less than 10 hours, and we still have a story to write and all kinds of goodies. So when you wake up tomorrow, check BroncoNationNews.com, watch all the videos on YouTube, the full interviews, read my post-game story, and then join us at 9 a.m. for Brad Bedell, Ty Benefield, and RJ Keene on Bronco Nation News Live. So thanks again. Have a good rest of your evening. Go subscribe if you can. We'd love to have you join the BNN family. BNN 50 deals, that promo code for a $50 first year. And again, at a minimum, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button here on YouTube, and go support the sponsors for making this thing possible. Have a great rest of your evening. We'll see you at 9 a.m. Bronco Nation News Live. This has been the Jacksons Postgame Show from the Western Collective Studios. Again, courtesy of our title sponsor, rowpaint.com. 96-55 the final. Great night for Boise State, and we'll be back 9 a.m. tomorrow. Bronco Nation News Live, bronconationnews.com.
Bronco Nation News is presented by rowpaint.com, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, by Lithia Ford, The Blue and Orange Store, Western Collective, by Jacksons, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Bauscher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, by Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and by Timberstone Golf Course.